What's up, everyone? Monster Master Godzilla here, and I'm here to continue my reviews of the Spider-Man movies. We're now up to Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Now, this is the first time that Venom got a sequel for his movie. This time this one I think was better than the first one. It's I mean, it was stuck when I first saw it and heard about it in the theaters. It's one of those movies that kind of it was like stuck during the production. It was supposed to be released back in late 2020, but sadly it ended up getting delayed. So yeah, it was back when people were in lockdown. It wasn't. It was stuck during. It ended up being in production. While it was in production, it got managed to be finished before. I think it was like before production. I think it was finished like after production, but then during the pandemic, it got delayed, and the release date got delayed, and it moved to 2021. I think. Yeah, I think it was 2021. Yeah, it was 2021 that it got released in the theaters. So it was so worth seeing that Carnage to see Venom get a sequel after his solo movie, and Tom Hardy returns in the role of Eddie Brock, and this time we introduce like the villain, which is Carnage, played by Woody Harrelson. Cletus Cassidy, also known as Carnage, which is Cletus Cassidy right there, and next to Carnage right there, and there's Carnage right there, which Carnage is and he also has, and not only did Carnage make an appearance, they also brought in Shriek, which is this girl right here, and Shriek has this ability to scream really loud. And she's like a romantic interest for Carnage in the comic book. This time they kind of brought in a storyline of Maximum Carnage, a portion of Maximum Carnage, where it was just Carnage and Shriek as the villains. And Venom and Eddie Brock had some relationship that kind of went a little strained where they argued on saying what should Venom eat, and they disagreed on things. Like Venom almost tried to eat the chickens that living in Eddie's apartment, which they were pets. But Eddie refused to let him do that. And they had a moment in the convenience store saying, "Morning, Eddie. Morning, Venom." And he says, and it's basically the convenience store even acknowledged Venom, since the suit talks to him. And so the Eddie Brock ends up interviewing Cletus Cassidy, which Cletus Cassidy in the comic book, he is a ruthless, sadistic, bloodthirsty, mass-murdering psychopath. And this is what they explain the comic book. It explains that as a child, Cletus Cassidy had tortured and killed his mother's dog with a drill. He pushed his grandmother down a flight of stairs, killing her. And he tried to kill his mother by throwing a blow dryer in the bathtub while she's in the shower. And and she used to get abused by his father, and all that antisocialness caused him, and all that psychotic behavior ended up landing into an orphanage, where he was abused and bullied by other kids and staff, and that's where he grew up to be a serial killer. So then he was captured, prisoned in Ravencroft, which was the mental institution for many of Spider-Man's enemies. It's like Arkham Asylum, but with Spider-Man villains. And one day, when Venom got triggered, when Venom almost got triggered by Cletus Cassidy. Cassidy Cassidy had bit the and Cassidy bit Eddie in the arm, and somehow a piece of the Venom symbiote got mixed in with Cletus's blood. And then later, as the blood of Cletus Cassidy and a piece of the Venom symbiote came together, Carnage ends up being born. The Carnage symbiote was born. And now Carnage, who is this red symbiote, a psychopath, and he makes Venom look like a joke. And he's like... And this film is and the CGI in the film is directed by none other than motion capture legend Angie Serkis. Serkis as guys like Alfred in The Batman, Ulysses Claw in Black Panther, as well as Gollum in Lord of the Rings. He's also King Kong for the motion capture of King Kong, and Caesar from Planet of the Apes. So yeah, anyway, when Carnage got formed as the symbiote, oh boy, Carnage, he was like really scary. He is awesome and really scary, and he's the best part of this movie. And the problem is that a lot of people wish they've seen more of Carnage in this one. And the other problem is that this one is like shorter than the first one. And it was like only an hour and a half. And so being that the story has Carnage involved, I was surprised that they went with it being PG-13. When it was when it was all hyped up, a lot of people were expecting it to be rated R. Like, especially from the trailers, people expected it to be rated R because of Carnage. I mean, he's one of the characters in the Spider-Man lore who's not very family friendly, like a serial killer. And then when Venom took on so yeah, the Spider-Man comics with Carnage and Venom in it were really dark in tone. So what I thought, and then when they got into the final battle, both Eddie and Venom got back in good terms, and also Venom had some funny moments when he's on his own, when he took over a couple of hosts as in a party. He ends up jamming it out, wearing those little glow in a stick necklaces and stuff, which is really funny. So then, just when Eddie and Venom got back in good terms, they end up teaming up to take on both Carnage and Shriek. But then when Venom saw Carnage, the symbiote himself, he's like, "Oh my God, that's a red one." Yeah, it's revealed that in comic book lore, red symbiotes are very feared throughout symbiosis. They're like rare, and they're very deadly. Carnage is one of them. So during the final battle, they both end up defeating Shriek. And then Cletus Cassidy is finally killed. At the end, it is later revealed that a piece of the Carnage symbiote ends up surviving, and it went on one of the cops, and one of the cops ended up teasing the toxin, which is the offspring of Carnage. And then after Eddie and Venom saved the world yet again, saved San Francisco from Carnage, they end up meeting. Both Eddie and Carnage end up agreeing to let the chickens out and about, and they thought they should go on vacation. They thought they should end up trying to go on vacation. So they end up going on vacation at the beach. And right when they're hanging out in their hotel, something strange ended up happening. And after Venom was telling Eddie about the whole multiverse situation, and then all of a sudden there was some kind of rift going on that something strange happened. And Eddie was like, "What the hell was that?" And so on the TV, surprise, surprise, in the post-credit scene, Tom Holland's Spider-Man appeared on a TV screen, and Venom was like, "That guy," and then licks the TV. All because Spider-Man's on TV. Probably, and there's some kind of weird connection between with Venom, the solo movie, and Spider-Man. It's teasing that we'll eventually get a new Spider-Man movie with Venom and Spidey together. The chances are we'll get a new Spider-Man versus Venom movie sometime in the future by Sony or the MCU. And after that, Eddie reveals that he finds out he's still in the same hotel, but except someone else is in that hotel room. So, and it hints out, and that's all I have. That's all there is for today. And would I recommend this one? Absolutely. This one is better than the first Venom movie. I think I like this one better than the first Venom movie, especially for Carnage. And if you're a hardcore Spider-Man fan, you gotta have this in your collection. And especially if you're a Venom or a Carnage fan. And that's all I have to say, folks. And as always, stay awesome, my Monster Masters, and stay amazing, my hardcore Spider-Man fans. And next up, we will be doing Spider-Man No Way Home. And that's all I have to say, folks. And as always, stay awesome, people. And as always, and I'll catch you later. Bye.